That footage you just witnessed would be the most terrifying 20 seconds of one man's life. This is Destiny Green, a 23-year-old popular hairstylist from Pennsylvania who allegedly transformed her 2019 black Hyundai Elantra into a weapon of murder on New Year's Eve 2025. But what exactly did her boyfriend do that allegedly pushed this young entrepreneur, a woman who built a hair business from a mere $300 investment into a venture generating over $30,000 monthly, to allegedly drive the wrong way down a busy Pennsylvania road, mount the sidewalk, and deliberately strike the man she once loved from behind? The answer will absolutely shock you. But before we get to the horrifying moment that surveillance cameras captured in disturbing detail, let me take you back to where this all began, because this story is so much more than just a domestic dispute gone terribly wrong.
So I'm leaving my side house and I see this couple arguing. Now I wasn't in their business or nothing, but I overheard that this nigga cheated on her the night before. Now I guess she got tired of arguing, so she started beating his ass. I mean, throwing real punches. You would have thought this is Floyd Mayweather in a lace front. I mean, this could fight. Now, the whole hood looked out the window, and ain't nobody say shit. And she whooped his ass for 7 minutes, throwing an estimated number of 356 vicious blows before he hit her ass back. Now, everybody want to run downstairs. That's a female. Don't put your hands on no female. Motherfucker, you ain't just see her lay the smack down on his ass. Now, I know a man ain't supposed to hit a woman, but a woman ain't supposed to hit a man either. This lady gonna look at me talking about you ain't gonna break it up? Hell no, motherfucker. These Molly popping, Hennessy drinking, they harder than fucking niggas sometimes. That ain't but guys playing, motherfucker. Don't put your hand on nobody if you don't want to get your ass hit back. What's wrong with you?
Destiny Green was not your average 23-year-old woman living in the suburbs of Philadelphia. It was quite far from it. She had cultivated an impressive online presence as a self-proclaimed hair clug and CEO of Mink Paradise Hair Extensions, positioning herself as a trusted voice in the beauty community for young women looking to start their own entrepreneurial journeys. Her TikTok account featured videos documenting her remarkable business evolution, showing aspiring entrepreneurs exactly how she allegedly went from struggling to thriving in the competitive hair extensions market. And let me tell you something, she was good at what she did. Green's content resonated with thousands of followers who were eager to learn the secrets behind her success. She shared vendor lists, product reviews critiquing brands like Anby Hair, and practical tips for scaling small businesses. By all outward appearances, Destiny Green had her life figured out at an age when many young people are still trying to find their footing. She was a licensed cosmetologist building a legitimate empire in the beauty space. But what was happening behind closed doors painted an entirely different picture. On December 31, 2025, New Year's Eve of all days, police say that everything Destiny Green had worked to build would come crashing down in a matter of seconds, and the location where this nightmare unfolded, in a Taco Bell parking lot at the intersection of State Road and Westchester Pike in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. According to multiple reports, sometime around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Green and her boyfriend, a man whose identity has been protected by authorities, were sitting inside her black Hyundai Elantra when a verbal argument began escalating rapidly. Now, we do not know exactly what sparked this particular disagreement. We do not know what words were exchanged inside that vehicle or what previous tensions might have been building between them. What we do know, based on police reports and witness accounts, is what happened next. The victim, realizing that tempers were flaring beyond control, made a decision that authorities say likely saved his own life. He punched the vehicle's windshield in frustration, an action that would become the "this" referenced in every sensational headline about this case, and then he walked away. He exited that Hyundai Elantra and began walking westbound along the sidewalk, heading in the direction of Musa Motors Auto Body at 7591 Westchester Pike in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. But according to police, Destiny Green was not about to let him walk away that easily, and what allegedly happened next would be witnessed by a 12-year-old boy who, to this very day, says he cannot bring himself to walk past the scene of the crime. At approximately 3:19 in the afternoon, Destiny Green made a choice that would change multiple lives forever. According to the criminal complaint, instead of allowing her boyfriend to create the necessary distance to let both parties calm down, Green allegedly drove her Hyundai Elantra the wrong way on Westchester Pike, a busy Pennsylvania thoroughfare, mounted the curb, drove directly onto the sidewalk, and accelerated toward the victim, striking him from behind. Police say the surveillance footage clearly shows deliberate maneuvers that indicate intent to cause serious bodily harm or death. The victim was walking away and had no way of knowing that the woman he had been in a relationship with was allegedly about to use her vehicle as a deadly weapon against him. But here is where this story takes what can only be described as a miraculous turn. You see, parked near Musa Motors Auto Body was a tow truck, a large, heavy tow truck that would become the single most important object in determining whether this case would be classified as attempted murder or murder in first degree. Green's Hyundai allegedly collided with that tow truck before making full impact with the victim, and authorities believe this collision absorbed a significant amount of the vehicle's momentum. The victim was struck from behind, thrown onto the hood of the vehicle, and briefly dragged between the car and the tow truck. But because the truck was there, because that massive piece of machinery stood in the path of the Hyundai, the full force of the impact was never fully transferred to his body. 12-year-old Musa Hussein, the son of the auto shop owner, heard the crash from inside his father's business and witnessed the aftermath firsthand. Now, what happened immediately after the impact is almost as disturbing as the strike itself.
And now to a developing story. Upper Darby police looking for the woman who they say ran over her ex-boyfriend with her car on New Year's Eve. Surveillance video capturing the alarming incident. Police are now calling this a case of domestic violence. Our Jennifer Lee explains how this all unfolded.
Upper Darby police tell me the man was struck right here on the sidewalk of Westchester Pike and suffered injuries to his hands and back. A witness tells me that man's injuries would have been so much worse had the car not first struck this tow truck before hitting the man.
I heard two people arguing in Taco Bell's parking lot.
An argument turned violent right outside Musa Motors in Upper Darby. The owner's son, Musa Hussein, was there, and the shocking violence was also captured on surveillance video.
She said something that made him go back and slams on her car, and he walks back to the tow truck and she just hits him.
Fox 29 is not showing the car striking the man, as it's disturbing. Upper Darby police identified the driver as Destiny Green, sharing this photo. They say the victim is her ex-boyfriend. Police say he's lucky to be alive, and Hussein agrees, noting Green's car first clipped the side of this tow truck before hitting the victim.
If that tow truck wasn't there, he would have been... Yeah, that tow truck saved his life.
The criminal complaint says Green is 23 years old and now faces multiple charges, including attempted. Police have recovered her black sedan and urge Green to turn herself in. Anyone who knows her whereabouts can contact police.
He went behind the tow truck to hide, and then the girl left with her car, even though it was damaged pretty bad. And he just walks away, grabs his stuff and walks away.
Police say this is yet another example of how domestic violence can be dangerous. They say it's better to take a moment, calm down, and walk away. A lesson even Hussein, who will be 13 in a few days, can understand.
I just think she shouldn't have run him over, because that didn't really affect her. She got nothing out of it, and he got hurt. And now she's gonna be in jail.
Police say help is available if you're struggling in a domestic violence situation. We'll have a link to the Domestic Abuse Project of Delaware County on fox29.com. In Upper Darby, Jennifer Lee, Fox 29 News.
According to witnesses and surveillance footage, the victim, despite having just been struck by a moving vehicle, was able to stand up and walk away from the scene. He suffered injuries to his left side, lacerations on his hands that may have come from punching the windshield earlier or from collision debris, and road rash on his back from being dragged along the pavement. But make no mistake about it, this man is extraordinarily lucky to be alive. And speaking of consequences, let me tell you exactly what Destiny Green allegedly did after striking her boyfriend with her vehicle. She fled the scene, and despite her vehicle being severely damaged, with the front end destroyed and the bumper literally falling off onto the pavement, Green allegedly drove eastbound towards Philadelphia, abandoning both the scene of the crime and apparently any sense of responsibility for what had just transpired. Police arrived shortly after, reviewed the surveillance footage that captured the entire horrifying sequence, and identified Destiny Green as the driver through the vehicle's registration and confirmation from the victim himself. The charges filed for this 23-year-old hairstylist turned fugitive are nothing short of devastating. We're talking about attempted murder as a first-degree felony under Pennsylvania Statute 18 PACS Section 901, combined with Section 2502, which carries a potential sentence of up to 40 years imprisonment if serious bodily injury is proven, along with fines reaching $15,000. Green also faces aggravated assault charges as a first-degree felony under 18 PACS Section 2702, potentially adding another 20 years to her sentence with fines reaching $25,000. And to complete the picture, she has been charged with recklessly endangering another person as a second-degree misdemeanor, carrying an additional 2 years and $5,000. When you add all of that together, Destiny Green, if convicted on all charges, could potentially spend the rest of her productive life behind bars. And here's what makes this entire situation even more disturbing. As of mid-January 2026, Destiny Green remains at large. Police recovered her damaged 2019 Hyundai Elantra shortly after the incident and have subsequently impounded it as evidence. They have released her photograph to media outlets across the region. Upper Darby Police Superintendent Timothy Bernhardt has publicly urged Green to surrender, providing a tip line for anyone with information on her whereabouts. Now, I want to put this incident into a broader context, because what happened in Upper Darby on New Year's Eve is unfortunately not an isolated event. This is part of a deeply disturbing pattern that has played out across America time and time again.
Police noted that domestic violence incidents have seen a significant uptick during the holiday season, with authorities attributing this surge to heightened tensions and stresses that come with this time of year. According to CDC data, Urban areas see a 10 to 15% rise in such violence during holiday periods, and statistics suggest that up to 75% of intimate partner homicides occur during or after separation, precisely the kind of volatile moment that Green and her boyfriend found themselves in. And this brings me to some similar cases that should absolutely terrify you, because they show exactly what can happen when domestic disputes escalate to the point where vehicles become weapons. Let me start with perhaps the most infamous similar to Destiny Green's case, the story of Clara Harris. Clara was not some troubled individual from a difficult background. She was a successful orthodontist from Friendswood, Texas, a woman who had built a thriving dental practice and appeared to have everything going for her. But in July 2002, Clara discovered that her husband David, a 44-year-old man she had built a life with, was having an affair with his receptionist, a woman named Gail Bridges. What happened next would become one of the most notorious domestic violence cases in American history. After hiring a private investigator to confirm her suspicions, Clara confronted David and his mistress at the Nassau Bay Hilton on July 24, 2002. The argument spilled from the hotel lobby into the parking lot, and then Clara made a decision that would destroy multiple lives in a matter of seconds. She got into her Mercedes-Benz sedan with her 16-year-old stepdaughter Lindsay sitting in the passenger seat, and she struck David with the vehicle, sending his body flying 25 feet through the air. But here is where this story becomes truly horrifying, because Clara did not stop there. She circled the parking lot and ran over David's body 3 more times, including reversing over him and eventually parking her Mercedes directly on top of his broken body. Her stepdaughter Lindsay was screaming for her to stop the entire time. The whole nightmarish sequence was captured on surveillance video, eerily similar to the footage that documented Destiny Green's alleged attack. David Harris, 44 years old, died from blunt force trauma. Clara was arrested and charged with murder. During her 2003 trial, prosecutors argued premeditation, pointing to the multiple passes over David's body. The defense attempted a sudden passion argument, claiming that the betrayal of discovering her husband's affair sent Clara into a state she could not control. The jury convicted her of murder, but applied the sudden passion finding as a mitigating factor. Clara Harris was sentenced to 20 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, the maximum under that particular clause. She served 15 years at the Mountain View unit in Gatesville, Texas, before being paroled in 2018. She completed her parole in early 2023 and now lives privately, having expressed remorse in interviews and noting that the incident destroyed her life and career.
It's a smile that says, "I'm free."
Clara, what's it like to be out?
Dr. Clara Harris is released from the Texas prison where she served 15 years for mowing down her husband with her car in a case that transfixed America. Now 60, her hair streaked with gray, the orthodontist was escorted to an SUV where she was given a long welcome home hug by a family friend. Reporter Jeff Ealing of KTRK-TV in Houston.
Throughout her release process, we could see her in the building. She had a giant smile on her face, and as she finally came out to the very last gate, she showed her prison ID to the guard one final time. Her smile broadened, and she went straight to a waiting car and left.
In 2002, Clara Harris ran over her husband David after she discovered him cheating with a receptionist at their dental practice. This grainy video of the was shot by a private eye, documenting David Harris's infidelities. You can see his wife driving over him again and again. Private investigator Bobby Basha watched it happen.
She started proceeding to do donuts over the body over and over. There's a big parking lot over there. She could have gone a million different directions, but she did donuts right over the body.
Confinement for 20 years.
Clara was sentenced to the maximum 20 years on what would have been her 11th wedding anniversary. The mother of 2 small children collapsed in tears and had to be helped out of the courtroom in a daze to begin her sentence. Her story of betrayal and revenge made the case unforgettable.
I asked him if he loved her, and he said, "I think so."
And there was a Lifetime TV movie, Suburban Madness, starring Celia Ward. Clara spent her time behind bars translating books into Braille. Now she begins rebuilding her life.
Clara, what's it like to be out?
The parallels to Destiny Green's case are chilling, and the only difference is that David Harris died. Destiny Green's victim survived. That tow truck, that single piece of heavy machinery, may be the only thing separating Destiny Green from murder charges instead of attempted murder. But Clara Harris is far from the only case that should give you pause. In 2022, 37-year-old Johanna Suarez allegedly ran over her boyfriend, Henry Hernandez, during a cross-country road trip argument. After Hernandez, 48, exited their vehicle on Interstate 10 near the Alabama-Mississippi border, Suarez allegedly turned her car around, drove the wrong way in the eastbound lane, and struck him head-on at 73 miles per hour. The black box confirmed the speed and the intent. Henry Hernandez was killed instantly. Suarez faced murder charges and was held without bond due to flight risk and prior felonies. In 2016, 32-year-old Ashley Schutz of Cleveland, Ohio, allegedly ran over her husband, Ronrico Schutz, multiple times in their own driveway following a domestic argument. She struck him, drove forward, reversed over his body, and dragged him 12 feet, all while a child witnessed the horror and screamed for her to stop. Ronrico Schutz, 35 years old, died days later from his injuries. Ashley claimed he jumped in front of her vehicle, but investigators discovered something damning. She had a history of vehicular assault from a 2005 domestic case where she rammed an ex-boyfriend's car. She faced murder, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice charges. The repeated strikes, the domestic trigger, the claim of innocence, all patterns that echo the potential escalation in Green's scenario had that tow truck not been there. And in Indianapolis, an unnamed woman ran over her boyfriend, Andre Smith, 26, 3 times outside Tilly's pub following a confrontation. She left him dead under her car and faced murder charges amid public debate about infidelity and relationship violence.
Also, new info in the death of a man whose girlfriend was accused of running him over in a bar parking lot. Court documents reveal that Galen Morris told police she did not mean to run over Andre Smith. She actually told police she meant to hit the woman that he was with at Tilly's Pub and Grill. Those documents also reveal that Morris initially denied putting an AirTag in the car to track him. She then admitted to placing it in the back seat. She's now charged with vehicular homicide and goes on trial in September.
I just want to apologize to Andre's family for the hurt and pain that I caused, and to his daughter. And I understand that this is a tragic situation for everyone that sits in this courtroom, and I'm so sorry that I caused it. This has been a nightmare for everybody. If I could turn back the hands of time, I would, and it would be handled differently, so differently. I'm praying for their strength, healing, and recovery. But once again, I am so sorry to his family. I'm very sorry. I apologize.
These cases shows what can happen when domestic disputes reach a breaking point and vehicles become instruments of rage. The research shows that vehicles are increasingly used in domestic assaults, transforming ordinary transportation into deadly weapons in moments of unchecked emotion. For Destiny Green, facing attempted murder charges that could result in up to 40 years imprisonment, these cases provide a sobering glimpse into what might have been and what still could be if the legal system determines her actions were intentional. Remember how I told you at the beginning that this story is about more than just a domestic dispute? Well, here is the final truth that should resonate with every single one of you watching. Destiny Green, by all available accounts, had no prior criminal history. She was building a business, she was creating content, and on the surface doing everything society tells young people they should be doing to succeed. And yet, according to police, in one moment of alleged rage, one decision that authorities say took less than 60 seconds from argument to impact, she potentially destroyed everything she had built while nearly taking another human being's life. Have you ever been in a similar situation or know someone who has? I want to hear your experience in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more.